Hey, I'm Randy, and I'm the Cheap Audio Man. Here at the Cheap Audio Man, we don't feel like audio equipment, amps, speakers, turntables, DACs, should cost more than flying across the country to see your favorite band perform, buying their VIP package, maybe getting to go into a private entrance, get some posters and, I don't know, a hat, stay at a really nice hotel, and eat very well, like maybe Wagyu beef. Although I think Wagyu beef is overrated, personally. I know, go figure. And then paying for the plane tickets and everything and having a great time that you can remember for the rest of your life. We don't think audio equipment should cost more than that. And these don't, normally. These are the KEF Q350s. So grab a cup of coffee, piping hot beverage, sit down, and let's talk about the KEF Q350s. New sponsor. It's been a while since we've had a sponsor, and when I say a while, I mean like a video. Wild Jacks Kangaroos Inc. When you want a giant family pet that can kick a 230-pound man across your backyard by leaning back on its disgustingly large, giant rat-like marsupial tail. It's fun for the whole family. Consider going with Wild Jacks, Kangaroo Incorporated. They handle the transportation, all the permitting, and even provide you with waivers that your friends and family can sign when they come over to interact with the giant, vicious pet that could harm them permanently. Wild Jacks. So what are we talking about today? The KEF Q350s, currently priced at $700. We're going to get to that though. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. If you want to support the channel, in the description, there's a link to the Patreon page. We have links in the description. Don't buy these right now, and we'll discuss why. And then you can sign up for Amazon Music HD for free. Click on the link in the description, scroll down to the bottom, click Try HD. You get 3 months for free. I get a couple dollars. So let's talk about build quality and specs and all that good stuff about the KEF Q350s. Okay, normally these are $500. Well, when they're on sale, they're $500. Okay, they're not. They were yesterday or the day before. Now they're $700. Okay. It's a fictitious price that KEF came up with, and then they put them on sale at $500 to get people excited to go buy them because they think it's actually a $700 speaker. It's actually a $500 speaker, and a good one. It's not a $700 speaker. Don't buy it. Okay, but let's talk about their drivers and all that good stuff. Okay, 6.5-inch aluminum woofer. Okay, 1-inch aluminum tweeter, concentrically mounted. Okay, it's the UniQ driver. KEF's famous for it. Let's see. Oh, it's a vented aluminum dome. They're rated at 63 hertz up to 28,000 hertz, 87 dB, 8 ohms. I tested these with a Topping MX3. I tested these with the SVS sound base. Both of those are Class D. Sound base is a monster, like a whole bunch of watts. Okay, and then the Emotiva TA100 acting as a preamp for the Emotiva Basics A300. Okay, I think they're not quite as sensitive as they say they are. I had a bit of a problem, not a bit of a problem. I didn't get them very loud with the Topping. Okay, and other speakers that are lower sensitivities, I felt like I got louder. Anyway, great build quality. They look good. I got mine in white. They come in black and I think walnut. They don't come with a grill, but you can get one for like an extra, I don't know, $50 or something, and it attaches magnetically. or you could just not poke the drivers. It's difficult with children, though. All right. Rear ported, nice binding posts, nice inert cabinet. They're a good-looking speaker. They're a good-looking speaker. All right. Let's talk about Soundstage and Imaging. Okay. Soundstage and Imaging. I'm just going to get the cat out of the bag here. Concentric drivers, in my experience, Soundstage and Image better or more easily than non-concentric drivers. I'm not saying non-concentric driver speakers can't image great. They can. With concentric drivers, it's been my experience that you can just put them anywhere and they do a really good job. Why? Because their directivity is done basically by the woofer. Okay? It's quite nice. All right? Beat It, Michael Jackson. At the beginning, dung, dung, dung. Okay? Ooh, boy. Very wide. Oh. Doves Cry. We're going back 80s, all right? Michael Jackson versus Prince. They're both winners. Doves Cry. Or When Doves Cry. I don't know. When Doves Cry. The beginning of the song, there's a part where, like, his voice comes in and goes, yeah, 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 yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. That. Yeah, yeah. Oh, my goodness. It was all over the place. It felt like it was being piped in by Prince himself from the beyond. Yeah, very good. More Human Than Human. Probably the best I've ever heard the intro of that song. It started dead center and then just started going back and forth. No delineation between the speakers. Just a complete traveling imaginary ball of music. Traveling back and forth. Maybe the best I've ever heard besides the ELAC Unify UB52. I'd say they're about the same. And they're quite good, if not the best. They are the best. Let's talk about bass. Bass is quick, neutral, with a great roll-off. Okay, how do I know it's neutral? Highway to Hell, AC/DC. That bass drum initially coming in is really tight, okay? If you have a bump speaker on the bottom, that's gonna feel pretty, not super thick, it's still gonna be tight, but it's just gonna have more heft to it, all right? So, great thing about the speaker is it's got a good roll-off, even though it's only rated at, I don't know, 63 hertz, I think. Yeah, even though it's only rated at 63 hertz, the roll-off is very smooth. So even a speaker that's rated lower, maybe like 50 hertz, could just stop. And the way that I test bass extension is with Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys, because that is a very low song. So if you still get the impression of the enormity of the bass on that song by the Beastie Boys, that means your speaker's got great roll-off. Guess what? The KEFs have great roll-off. I'd rather have a speaker rated at 63 with good roll-off than a speaker rated at 50 with bad roll-off, if that makes sense. All right, so let's talk about tonality. What I call, does it sound real? And yes, it does. Dumb by Nirvana off the MTV Unplugged. The bass sounded like a bass. Very good. All right, I already talked about that. Let's talk about mid-range. Mid-range is neutral and clear, okay? And here's going to be another point. The mid-range, the bass, and the highs all are affected greatly by what amp you pair these with. This is a very, it still has a flavor, okay? But depending upon what amp you use, it's going to change the sound. And not in like a, oh, I can hear the subtle note, in a, oh, yeah, I hear that way. So male vocals, while very pleasing on every amp, with the SVS sound base, had the most body to it. All right, and that was There Will Be Time by Mumford & Sons and some South African guy. Great song. If you haven't heard it, I'd suggest you give it give it a chance. All right, King of Pain by Alanis Morissette off the MTV Unplugged, her Unplugged record. She's very good, great detail. So with the topping MX3, I got more detail, okay? With the SVS sound base, I got more body, all right? I'm not saying there's not detail with the SVS sound base. It's still there. It's just, it introduces a bit of butter, okay? Amp dependent, all right? Let's talk about treble. Treble, kind of same, similar thing with the mid-range, affected by the amp. Centerman got to be very clear, and the 16th notes on the hi-hat, very clear and nearly in the room vibe when I had it hooked up to the topping, and to a lesser extent the Emotiva TA100. The TA100, yeah, it did a pretty good job. Very good job. When I had it hooked up to the SVS sound base, it didn't sound bad at all. It sounded great. But the actual realistic, it's in the room, kind of went away. All right? So it depends on what you want with this speaker and how you pair it. Oh, great decay on Africa, the Weezer version, on every amp. Okay? Again, with the topping, with the Emotiva TA100, you get a little bit more detail. All right? What are my final thoughts? Final thoughts on this speaker is an absolute 100% buy at $500. Don't buy it now. When it goes back on sale, which it always does, I'll post it up in the community section, like I do a post. Hey, the KEF Q350 is on sale for $500, which is where it should be. And if anybody from KEF or Klipsch or Sony or anybody else is watching, which you're probably not, I get it. Who cares about what the cheap audio man has to say? Stop with all this pricing nonsense. Just have a price. You know who has just a price? Emotiva, Fluence, Wharfedale. They just have a price, and that's the price. Okay? It's like going into Kohl's or JCPenney and having your 25% off coupon and thinking that you're getting some type of crazy deal. You're not. Okay? Really what's happening when you pay MSRP, they're just making a significantly more profit margin. Okay? Just be honest. Provide a good product that's good at that price point and be done with it. Stop messing around with the pricing, because on the Sony SSCS5s, I recommend that speaker all the time. When it's $75, it's a great buy. Heck, when it's $120, it's a great buy. But just stop with it. Just give them a price. Don't make people feel compelled. Oh, I gotta go buy the speaker now, because otherwise they're gonna pull their pricing chicanery on me. That makes me mad. It's a great neutral speaker, and you can tailor it how you want it to hear by having a different flavor of amp while still maintaining its flavor. And its flavor is, it's a great speaker that has body and it has a personality on top with some excitement. This is very similar to the Wharfedale Diamond 12.2. The Wharfedale Diamond 12.2 is a bit more buttery speaker. This is just a step closer to exciting. I'm not saying the Wharfedale 12.2 isn't exciting. It is. It's great. Actually, I brought that back out and was listening to it. It's a fantastic speaker. This is just heading more towards neutral. Okay? This speaker checks all the boxes with a giant Sharpie, like the big thick one, and you just check the boxes. It does everything it's supposed to do. All right. Very refined, very good. That's the end of my notes. All right. So, if you're new here, consider subscribing. We have a whole bunch of videos. We have a great time here at the Cheap Audio Man. We don't take ourselves too seriously. And with that, don't binge watch Netflix or Hulu or HBO. Listen to your favorite streaming application and binge listen to music and fill your soul with happiness.